Do you know that improving your listening skills can effectively enhance your speaking skills? As learners engaging in listening activities, we unconsciously absorb linguistic patterns, vocabulary, and pronunciation, which later influence our speaking abilities. In this video, I will share with you 3 listening methods which I really encourage you to use based on a lifetime of language learning. The third method, to me, by far, is the best for not only improving your listening comprehension, but for learning languages in general. At the end of this video, there are some links for listening practice material in English, Italian, and Chinese, so check them out. The first method is passive listening, not concentrating on trying to understand everything, or as I would call it, listening like a baby. As infants, we initially experience language as a stream of sounds. However, over time, we learn to distinguish individual words. This process of recognizing and separating words is an essential part of language development during the early stages. When we learn a new language that is quite different from the ones we already know, it may mirror the early stages of our infancy in that the language may seem like a flow of unfamiliar sounds. Passive listening to such things as music, podcasts, or movies provides an opportunity to absorb the language's rhythm and cadence. At this initial stage, rather than fixating on full comprehension, it is crucial to direct our attention to how the language sounds. Actively tuning into the nuances, accents, and rhythm enhances our ability to identify distinct words and phrases, fostering a deeper connection with the language. This immersive experience mirrors the way that we absorbed our native language as an infant, forming the groundwork for language acquisition. From the age of 6 years old, I would spend hours listening to foreign languages on a shortwave radio. Yeah, old technology from the 1960s. And I was just fascinated by the sound of the diverse languages. Of course, I couldn't understand what they were saying, but I just loved the sound. It was like music to my ears. And I must say that music in particular helps me feel and appreciate the beauty of the languages I am studying even more. Lately, I've been listening to Nepali songs, which bring back a lot of great memories from trekking in the Himalayas. Now, please note that you can also practice passive listening with languages that you already know fairly well. It is still passive listening if we are not worrying about understanding everything. We simply listen, absorbing the flow of the language and as much meaning that comes without additional effort. Sometimes I listen to a podcast in a target language as I fall asleep. In that case, I sometimes dream in the language. I have experienced some amazing insights into my identity as a speaker of the target language in those dreams. I discuss the connection between lucid dreams and foreign language fluency in a video, and you can watch it here. Okay, that brings us to our next method, active listening, concentrating on understanding, or you might call it adult-powered learning. Some people say that children learn faster than adults. I disagree. You see, adults have well-developed cognitive abilities, analytical skills, and a wealth of prior knowledge that can be leveraged to understand language structures more consciously. As an adult learner, you can make a conscious effort on what you need to improve. In order to do so, it is important to dedicate a specific time for study. So in the active mode, each time you watch a video in your target language, you want to focus on improving how much you understand each time you watch it. The internet has provided so many sources for listening practice. I could only dream about having these tools back in the 1970s when I began my language learning journey. Back then, I just had a linguaphone set, a textbook, and some vinyl discs for listening practice. The subjects that I listened to were very limited. But now there's so many materials available out there, even on YouTube. And for YouTube Plus language lovers, have you ever heard of the Language Reactor extension? It provides double subtitles for YouTube videos and an integrated dictionary that allows you to turn entertaining material into learning resources. However, it is AI generated and not always correct, and it's not available for all YouTube videos nor on your phone. To make active listening most effective, you might want to do the following. Choose suitable content. Select videos that match your language proficiency level. If you're a beginner, start with simple content, such as language tutorials or basic conversations. As you progress, you can explore more complex topics. First, no subtitles. Begin watching the video without subtitles to get a general understanding. Focus on visual content, facial expressions, and gestures to aid comprehension. After the first viewing, watch the video again with the subtitles turned on. This allows you to connect the spoken words with the written forms, reinforcing vocabulary and sentence structure. Next, pause and repeat. Pause the video when you encounter unknown words or phrases. Repeat these segments to reinforce pronunciation and improve comprehension. Take notes. Jot down new words, phrases, and grammar structures that you come across. Create a vocabulary list or add them to your language learning notes for later review. Repeat out loud. Repeat sentences or phrases out loud to practice pronunciation. Mimicking the speaker's intonation rhythm helps improve your overall speaking skills. Review regularly. Periodically review the videos you have watched. When I first started learning Japanese 42 years ago, I watched a movie on VCR 50 times. Repetition is crucial for language retention, and revisiting content reinforces what you've learned. Okay, now here it comes. The method I find most effective for improving listening comprehension. Dual language books with audio. Here is what it looks like.
I colombiani hanno uno degli accenti spagnoli più chiari e facili da capire tra le grandi varietà di accenti e dialetti delle Americhe. Non esiste uno spagnolo colombiano standard, poiché la Colombia ha molte varianti regionali e alcune sono più difficili da capire di altre. Tuttavia, quando si parla di spagnolo colombiano, si fa riferimento alla zona centrale del paese, dove si trova Bogotà, la capitale. In questa regione le persone parlano lentamente e spesso fanno pause tra le frasi. Inoltre, tutte le vocali e le consonanti sono pronunciate in modo chiaro e distinto. Queste caratteristiche sono l'esatto opposto dello spagnolo cubano a cui ero abituato.
So, why do I think it's an extremely effective way to improve your listening comprehension and your language learning in general? Well, because there are a number of benefits that come with using this method. First, there's cognitive engagement. As you listen and or read, imagining the details of a scene stimulates parts of the brain associated with memory and comprehension. Then we have associative learning. Creating mental images while reading helps form associations between words and phrases and their visual representations. The brain tends to remember information better when it's linked to vivid mental images, creating a stronger memory trace. Also important is personalization of language. When you visualize scenes, you often personalize the experience by collecting it to your own memories and emotions. Personalization enhances emotional engagement with the language, making it more likely to be remembered. In addition, audiobooks offer more input for the time spent listening. We don't have any downtime like a moment of silence in a video. There's always input. Comprehensible input is essential. We need to understand most of what we are listening to in order to benefit from it. Having the audio in written form allows you to study at your own pace and make sure that you comprehend what you are listening to and reading. Once you have understood the content of a chapter, there are various ways to make your study even more effective. First, shadowing while reading. You can read out loud with the narrator. Next, shadowing without reading, just listening and repeating along with the narrator. Next, Try to memorize some select phrases, something that you like. And finally, dictation. Listen to the recording and pause it and try to write down from memory what you just heard. Then you can check it with the text. Okay, so where can you find these materials? Dual language books. Well, most of the dual language books are usually published for children. But dual language books are my favorite way to study. So when I wrote my memoir, A Life in 30 Languages, I decided to not only publish it in single languages, but also as dual readers, with the hope that it would not only inspire people to learn languages, but provide them with a better way to do so. So far, I've created dual readers for English Chinese and English Italian, and I'm in the process of doing ones for French, Spanish, and Portuguese. Next year, many more are sure to come. They can be seen at polyglotdreams.com, which is also in the description. But I've also made chapters available in video form where you have the audio and the text. And you can see the English Italian and English Chinese in these videos. And I know many listeners would also like to practice English listening comprehension. Therefore, I am making chapters available in video, also with the audio and the text. And I've also made a PDF of the chapters available in the description. Just click and download it and use that when you study. You can see the text in the video, but by having the PDF, you can copy and paste into, for example, Google Translate in order to help you understand better. To me, learning languages is not just about learning the language itself. It's about discovering a new culture, new knowledge, and even a new you. It is definitely worth the effort. See you in the next video.